Hi guys, welcome back to my kitchen. Tonight we're going to do some honey garlic chicken, and then also I'm going to saute off some squash, little tomatoes. I've got some Egyptian walking onions that I cut up, and then garnish that with little chives. I've got garlic here, fresh garlic that's chopped up. That's going to go with my chicken, and then I'm going to garnish that with a little parsley. I've already cooked some rice. I'm going to steam some green beans, but that's going to be dinner tonight. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I need a little bit of olive oil. So we're going to put just a very small amount of olive oil in here. And then I've got 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, salt and pepper really to taste. I'm using about a half teaspoon of salt and about a third of a teaspoon of pepper. And I'm going to put that in here, mix that up with my chicken. And I'm going to get this seasoned up. Now I'm using the boneless, skinless leg thigh for this dish. You could use chicken breast, or even better, if you have the skin on, bone in thigh meat. It takes longer to cook, but potentially a little more flavor because you got the bones in there. So we're going to take this over to the stove top. I'm going to sear off the chicken, get that pretty much cooked through. Then I'll add the garlic in there, let that saute, and then I'm going to add, I've got cider vinegar, soy sauce, and fresh honey here, and a little bit of water, and I'm going to put that all into the pot, cover it up, and let that simmer on a low heat for just a little bit so it can infuse the flavors and reduce down, and then we'll do the squash, and that will be dinner. So we're going to move over to the stove top. I'll show you what we're doing over there. Alright, so I've got my skillet heated up now, and so I've got just a little bit of oil that was already on the chicken. I don't really need a whole lot. I always start skin side down. And get this all arranged in here. Alright, so we got our chicken going here. Just want to get a nice golden brown on here on each side. When you're cooking chicken, you have it in the pan, you go to lifting it up and it sticks to the pan, it's telling you it's not ready to turn over. So if it holds onto the pan, then just leave it, it will release. Same deal as when you're working on the grill. If you have stuff that's sticking to the grill, you just need to let it sit for a little bit longer. So I'm going to do basically the same dish, but I'm going to do a vegetarian version. First I'm going to add some peppers into this one, just red and green peppers that I've got chopped up, and I'm going to saute those off. These are the peppers here. A little browning on here, just a golden brown. And this, since it's leg, thigh meat, boneless, skinless, it's going to cook fairly quickly.
We got a little browning on this side. I'm going to make a little opening in the middle. Really don't have a lot of fat because this is skinless chicken here. So if I had the skin on, then I would drain off some of the fat, but really there's not that much in here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my garlic into here. This is honey garlic chicken, so there is a bit of garlic in this. And we're going to let this sweat off. You don't want to add the chicken too soon because if you add it too soon, then it's going to end up burning. It'll get very bitter. So we're just going to spread it out in between the chicken here a little bit. Now for my other dish, for my vegetarian version, you got a little peppers, I've got the garlic in here, and then we're using a little seitan. So we're going to treat it the same way. Alright, so now I've got a little apple cider vinegar, about 2 tablespoons there, and 2 tablespoons of soy, and about 1/4 cup of water. And then we're going to add our honey, about 1/3 cup of honey into here. Bring that up to a simmer. I'm going to turn it down, cover it up, move that one to a back burner here. So I have a warm skillet here, and I'm going to add my walking onions into it. Saute them off a little bit. Got to finish off the seitan. Like I said, I'm doing it the same way. The cider vinegar, soy sauce, and honey. These recipes are pretty much, they're savory recipes or guides. You can change them up. I would recommend doing it according to the recipe the first time through, and then you can always change things around. So I've got the seitan simmering also, and I'm going to cover it up and put it on a back burner. So we've got our green onions in here. Now I'm going to add the squash. And we're going to mix that around a little bit. So I like to season a little bit while I'm cooking this. So I do a little pepper. And I've got my sea salt here. I can always add a little bit more later, but this way it cooks into the food. Need to move it around a little bit. I've got a nice cast iron skillet here, and that's really working well. You get a little caramelization down in the bottom. Our chicken is simmering over here. I'm going to let some of the steam escape. That way it's going to reduce the sauce down a little bit. We want a thicker sauce on there. I use water, but you could also use chicken stock. So I'm not looking to have the squash, I'm trying to get a little bit of color on the squash in here. I don't want to overcook it because I don't want it soft. Yeah, I got a little fresh tomatoes. I like this time of year. I'm getting my walking onions in. I don't have tomatoes yet though. Fresh parsley, chives. We're growing all that now. So this adds a little more flavor. You put a little fresh chives on here. Let that cook. The chicken's about done. Got to finish off my rice, and I'll show you what the plate looks like in just a little bit. All right, thanks much.
All right, chicken is here. We've got our squash with onions and tomatoes, steamed little green beans. We've got some rice. So we're going to take a little rice, put that in there. I like a little green beans, just steamed. We'll season that later. We've got our squash with tomato and the walking onions. Take a piece of the chicken here. And I got a little ladle so I can get some of the good juice out of this. Some good sweetness from the honey. That's dinner for tonight. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.